Just keep it going. I'm a soul man, Lord. I'm a soul man. Yes, I am. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man, Lord. You couldn't be so. You couldn't be so. You couldn't be so. You couldn't be so.
They see something that I don't see. What can you learn from a bum, Omar? Shamsuddin? What I learned from a bum, maybe it's what not to do.
Nobody takes down Angel Snuff 7 easy. There's a reason why, after 100 channels destroyed, Angel Snuff 7 is still here. There's a reason why nobody want to get in a beef with Angel Snuff 7. But you don't take me seriously.
Can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. People all over the world.
Canada hot pest. See, they say that Angel Snub 7 don't care about the people. But Angel Snub 7 cares about the people because I'm bold enough to tell you the truth. And I don't give a damn if you give me a dime. I'm not looking for your money.
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody.
We are in a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it goes. Free your mind.
Rising up and sing that our time is here. We're taking back what's been lost for years. Let the heaven of a system embrace you and praise the mother God.
All these lies and all this propaganda that you want us to sing, we're gonna take out. Free, freedom from my mind. Freedom for
What was that you said to me? Don't say it was nothing. You cannot lie to me. Your eyes were talking. In the way you wear your smile and in the way you wet your lips, it's enough to drive me wild, and I cannot take much more of it. So
tell me a secret we're sharing. What is on your mind?
Tell me a secret way.
Tell me a secret wish, and I will tell you mine.
Roland, I know you got soul. 1, 2, 3, hit it. Everybody jump. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. I know you got soul. Hey, if you think you ain't been here, I know you got soul. If you think you ain't been here, I know you got soul. If you think you ain't shake that thing, get me with the beat. Hey, because they sing. I know you got soul. Hey, if you think you ain't been here, I know you got the feel.
yes. I want that. Oh, I need that. Got to have that. It's me.
all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody.
In a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it go. Free your mind.
Keep it real.
What dear?
Because I keeps it real like that. I keeps it real.
Yes, I'd like to talk to you. Take some of your precious time. I'd like to get to know you. Would you be so kind?
The Great Migration, also known as the Black Migration, was a migration of African Americans from the American South to the North. This migration of Black Americans was one of the largest in human history and a big part of American history, socially and economically. I personally don't hear about it. I wanted to talk about the diverse reasons behind this exodus coming from the mouths of the Black Southern migrants themselves. What up, African world? It's Home Team here, and welcome back to another video of African history.
Hello everyone, welcome to Top Tips. In today's video, we'll be discussing the top 10 states Black people are moving to. In the past, many African Americans moved up north to avoid the challenges of living in the South. But now, most of them are moving back to the South and to other states you might find surprising. With that said, here are the 10 states that have seen the most new Black residents in the last decade. Number 10. Ohio. In the last decade, 86,500 new Black residents have arrived in Ohio. One of the areas seeing the largest increase in Black population is Bedford, Ohio. This town saw a 28% increase of African American residents. One reason some Blacks may be moving to the state is many of the cities have a relatively low cost of living. Homes are also affordable, and the state is considered to have a decent job market. A few of the cons to keep in mind about living in Ohio is that the winters can be harsh up there. The crime rates are high in the major cities, and there's said to be a lack of efficient public transportation. Overall, Ohio does have a lot to offer, so it'd be a good 88,500 new Black residents in the last 10 years. Brockton, Massachusetts became a majority Black town last year, making it the only one in the New England area. It had a 44% increase in African American residents in the last decade. So why are Black people moving to Massachusetts? One possible reason is because of its highly touted healthcare system. It's attractive from a career standpoint if you work in the health field, and from a personal standpoint if you want to live in a state that offers good healthcare. Massachusetts also has some of the best higher education institutions in the country, which may be attracting Blacks wanting to go to a good school or looking for jobs in the academic field. Be aware that the cost of living and housing is very high in the state. With being up north, the area is of course also prone to harsh winters. But to end on a positive note, Massachusetts is considered one of the safest states to live in. Number 8. Tennessee. In the past 10 years, Tennessee has seen nearly 90,000 new Black residents come to the state. Most of them have been moving to Nashville. The job market has been steadily growing and the unemployment rate has remained below the national average. The state is also considered to have good schools and good health care. And of course, you're probably well aware of the thriving music scene that's in Nashville. Though if you're not a huge country music fan, you'll have to learn to accept hearing it more often than you would in most places. Some of the cons of living in Tennessee are that there have been issues of poverty and crime in both smaller towns and major cities. Mid-Tennessee can be prone to experiencing tornadoes, and Tennessee has one of the highest state tax rates. But the state does have a low cost of living, no income tax, and lots of events to enjoy throughout the year. Number 7. Virginia. Virginia has seen over 100,000 new African American residents in the last decade. You might be surprised to learn that Virginia has the second highest concentration of tech workers. Among other benefits that may be are low crime rates, low taxes, great schools, and great health care. The state also features a variety of different nature scenery from beautiful mountains to warm sandy beaches. There's a lot of good things going on in the state, but of course Virginia isn't immune to having downsides. The cost of living in Virginia is higher than the national average. Homes can also get pretty expensive in some areas as well. If you plan to live in the northern part of Virginia, you'll have to get used to dealing with heavy traffic. Despite that, if you can afford to live there, it's definitely one of the better states to live in. Number 6. Minnesota. Over 111,000 new African American residents have made Minnesota home in the past decade. Similar to Massachusetts, Minnesota is considered to have good quality education. The state also has a low crime rate, low housing costs, and a low cost of living. It can be pretty rare to find all three of these traits in one state. As for the cons of living in Minnesota, you'll of course have to deal with really cold winters, and in the summers, there can be a high amount of mosquitoes. Minnesotans have been said to have a reputation of being passive-aggressive. Taxes are also pretty high compared to other states in the Midwest. Nonetheless, if you're a nature person, you'll enjoy how much nature the state has to offer, along with also having a great food scene. Number 5. Maryland. Living in Maryland can put you not far from many major cities such as DC and Philadelphia. In the last decade, the state has seen over 129,000 new African American residents. Maryland features a variety of different scenery such as farmland, cities, beaches, and mountains. The job market and the healthcare system in the state are both considered to be good. If you're into seafood, Maryland has lots of it, including blue oysters and fish. The major con of Maryland is the high cost of living and the high property taxes. Though to be fair, it's lower in comparison to the major cities nearby. The crime rate and the homeless population are also high too. And unfortunately, given its proximity to major cities, the traffic can get pretty bad sometimes. But as long as you can afford to live there, the job opportunities and the healthcare offered make Maryland worth considering. Number 4. North Carolina. Whether it's Charlotte or Raleigh, the black population has grown significantly in North Carolina. In the past 10 years, over 213,000 more African Americans became new residents of the state. Among the reasons many African Americans may be moving there include low cost of living, low housing costs, low property taxes, and nice nature scenery. Winters are said to be mild and summers aren't considered to be too extreme. Unfortunately, crime rates in the state are higher than the national average. North Carolina is also always at risk of potentially being hit by a hurricane. While there are some good universities, the K-12 public education system isn't considered among the best. Overall, North Carolina is a great state for nature lovers and those looking for an affordable place to live. Number 3. Georgia. In the past decade, Georgia has seen an increase of 438,000 new African American residents. Some of the increases in black population were in smaller towns such as Fairburn and Union City. While places closer to Atlanta can be expensive, Georgia generally has low housing prices and low property taxes. The winters are generally mild, so it's a good state if you want to avoid anywhere cold. Beyond the major cities, Georgia has many lakes to enjoy and lots of nature scenery. As far as cons, if you're not a fan of long hot summers, you'll have to get used to it if you choose to live in the state. Traffic isn't the best, crime rate is higher than the national average, and it's also one of the most obese states in the country. Despite these things, you'll enjoy the affordability of the homes and also the many events and festivals that come into the state yearly. Number 2. Florida. With 460,000 new African American residents in the past 10 years, Florida comes in at number 2 on our list of where black people are moving. Some of the attractive things about Florida include the year-round warm weather, no state income tax, and a lower than average unemployment rate. The houses are considered affordable, and there's also the beaches, the theme parks, and many other attractions in the state. But of course, with living in Florida, you'll always have to be prepared for potential evacuations during hurricane season. Additionally, the crime rate and the cost of living are both above the national average. Florida has also had a reputation of being overcrowded, having bad drivers, and being dangerous for pedestrians. But in spite of that, the allure of never dealing with cold weather, along with continued job growth, explains why many African Americans are moving there. Number 1. Texas. Texas has gained more new black residents than the first 5 states on this list combined. In the last decade, Texas has seen over 600,000 new black residents in the state. Texas consistently ranks among the top 10 in job growth. Among the other benefits include no state income tax and a cost of living below the U.S. average. The state is also home to many different major cities such as Dallas, Austin, Houston, and San Antonio. Some of the drawbacks of living in Texas are the high property and violent crime rates. There's also less affordable health care and high sales and property taxes. Still, there's no denying Texas has a lot of opportunities, which makes it understandable why African Americans are moving there more than any other state. Thanks for watching. This is Top Tips, tipping you off.
your secret wish and I will tell you mine. Whatever you want and whatever you need, I will give the stars above if you'd only talk to me. Tell me your secret wish. 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 You can't hide your thoughts. You can.
My brother Angel Snuffing Up 7 at the Reality Temple. And to give props to him, because I listened to all of Angel Snuffing Up 7's videos, I think that he comes from a different angle. And there's a powerful message in a lot of the videos that he put out. And I try to catch all of them. I look at him as a free thinker and a person that's willing to challenge those of which he don't agree with or which he may think differently from. And I really respect him for that. He's challenged KNBS, and he has also challenged the Black supremacy movement as well. And I have nothing against that, because that which cannot be challenged cannot stand and will not stand and will not survive the test of time. How many challenges we can withstand will determine how long we will be able to stand.
You move over there. Don't let me try to fool you. I know you don't like the faker. Tighten up.
All righty. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me, brother Taalib?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go on in and go right on in with the topic of this video. First, before I go on further, let me give my shout outs to the Deacons of Reality, and let me give my shout outs to Mellow Cap, Tangi Cox and her family, and let me give shout outs to Sister Ann, and also and peace to you also, brother Twin Pyramid, and let me also give shout outs to the rest of the gang that's usually in the comment section under our panel videos. And with that said, I'm gonna go right in on what I want to talk about in this live stream. Well, I saw a video that brother Angel Snuff 7 did. You know, that was titled All Soul Brothers and Sisters Should Support Reparations. So I caught on to something as I was watching the video, and he had mentioned something about the migration of Black people, of course, like our ancestors in a lot of cases, who left the South, went north, and even some came west. And he also mentioned certain places like here in Nebraska, where I'm located at, and also in the state of Iowa, which is right across the state line east of here. And I want to further expand on that, because see, a lot of people don't know that Black people since post Jim Crow have been moving west of the Mississippi, you know, and we have been moving to places that usually a lot of people wouldn't even expect us to move to, especially states that are exclusively overpopulated by a majority of Caucasians, you know, where you'll hardly find nobody at almost but them. And so with that said, when he mentioned Nebraska, I said, well, that's definitely one of the states, because here in Nebraska, we as soul people are just 1%. Between here, where I'm at in the state capital of Lincoln, Nebraska, and Omaha, that's what mostly makes up that 1%. And the other Blacks that's kind of scattered far out in between throughout the rest of the state, that basically just adds on to that 1%, I guess, you know. But it's just most of us here between here and Omaha. And then, you know, Iowa, you know, you have certain Blacks in different pockets of Iowa, like in Davenport, Des Moines, and places like that. I think even in Sioux City and a couple other towns that I've heard about in Iowa, you know, but it's definitely more Blacks here, and I would say in Nebraska than it definitely is in Iowa. And then we're not looking at these other states like South and North Dakota, because a lot of people don't know that we got numbers of soul brothers and sisters flocking to places like South Dakota as well as North Dakota. And that's unheard of when it comes to the history of soul migration in this country. That is very unheard of. And it's a lot of, you know, silence going on about that, although there are different people that know about it, but it's very, people are silent about it. It's something that's not a part of the norm, I guess, you know, but I mean, heck, when our ancestors migrated from the South to the North, you know, that was out of the norm, because we helped populate the North with the Black population that's there now, due to our ancestors' migration from the South. Because prior to that, it wasn't that many Blacks, like in areas like Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, you know, and going further east like Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, you know, and then up in the New England states like Connecticut and Massachusetts, where you have a lot of influx of soul people at, you know. So I mean, you know, we help to build the population that is called the soul Black population in those areas, parts of the North. And that came directly from Southern migration to the North. So with soul southern migration, you also, of course, like the brother said, have blacks that came west. Now, back during that time in Jim Crow, it was a lot of blacks who were coming out this way to seek opportunities, like with when they was giving out settlement grants for people out here, mostly who were white. But of course, you had a few blacks that was out here, so somehow they ended up, I guess, taking advantage of that situation, you know, or with the little they could take advantage of at that time, because those grant programs, as far as land grants go, was exclusively set up for white people out here in places like Nebraska, you know, and Iowa, which is also considered a Great Plains prairie state. But, you know, we have a growing black population in Boise, Idaho. When you want to talk about expanding further west, just further west of here. I ain't talking about Colorado, where we know where's a lot of black people at, especially like in the Denver area. We're not talking about nowhere like that. We're not talking about Arizona, you know, and of course on the West Coast, California, up to Portland and Seattle. We ain't talking about them areas as far as when you talking about expanding further west. We talking about, and I'm not even talking about Nevada either. I'm talking about what stops right before you get in Nevada, which is Utah. You got a growing number of blacks there. And that's also due to the migration of a lot of them Katrina evacuees from New Orleans that was sent there by FEMA during Katrina. Okay, because prior to that, you did not even have as even many blacks there in Utah as we have now. And then, like I mentioned, the other state which borders right next to Utah, north of there, Idaho, which sits right between the state of Washington on the West Coast, which is where Seattle is, and which also shares a border with the state of Montana, which is a state I've been to, which is a part of the Northwest. And when I was there 20 years ago, when I still thought of soul, you know, group or kind of congregation groups of soul people as communities, I thought I saw a little miniature black soul community in Billings, Montana. And at one time, during post-slavery and during Jim Crow, there were a lot of people, there were a growing more number in Montana. But because of housing discrimination and job discrimination and all that, basically those that community was destroyed. And I guess what I saw up there when I was in Billings, Montana was a replica of that. But they're actually blacks that live up there. That's, you know, a part of the social system up there as well, you know. And beside the blacks that go to college up there on collegiate athletic scholarships, you know, and stuff like that. So, and we even now got a few blacks here in between there migrating to even Wyoming, which is right over across the state line, west of here in Nebraska. So that's, like I said, that's not being talked about. And it's unheard of in this country to most people, because, like I say, a lot of us wouldn't even expect Black people to be moving to states like this. Well, I want to go into why we do, since even the beginning of this century, called the 21st century. The reason why a lot of Blacks have been migrating here, which now, even right here where I'm at in Lincoln, Nebraska, you have a lot of soul Black people coming directly straight from Chicago. And some are here from where I'm from, Detroit. You have some here even from New York, even as far as from California, that's here, you know, and they've been coming in as the years have gone by. They've been kind of coming here. That's why the population here right now is just 4.4% Blacks. You know, yeah, peace, Mellow Cap. And it's like we come in here, a lot of us come here, the ones of us who do come here, I'm gonna just say that, is because some of us come here based on the claim that we're trying to get away from the violence in big cities like Detroit and Chicago, you know, and we come here and some of us do bring our drama here, of course, and end up getting caught up in these white folks' system out here. Because it ain't nothing but 1% of us here in the state of Nebraska, but we overpopulate the prison system here in Nebraska. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's like, you know, but we're coming out here, like I said, you know, to these different states. And the last time I traveled out of Nebraska, it was a couple years ago. I was going to visit some of my family in the South. And anyway, as I was on my way back and forth, I seen brothers, soul brothers, you know, switching buses to get to North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? When we was laying off at our bus stop, when our bus, you know, we were waiting to change to get on other buses and stuff. It'll be brothers taking routes, getting on buses, going toward routes like North Carolina, North Dakota. And I'm looking at certain brothers like, you know, and I know I sound like I'm trying to profile somebody. Who am I to profile somebody? But I'm looking at these certain brothers like, you know what? He don't even fit that type of profile or description of even living in North Dakota or even wanting to go to North Dakota. You know, and over recently ago, I heard about two rappers. These were soul brothers, two rappers who actually got into a heated altercation, and one ended up dead in the shootout. And these were between soul brothers. Out of all places, it was in North Dakota where this took place at, you know? So it shows me that, for one thing, no matter what environment you put us in, we just gonna act like the same old loose cannon Negro slaves that was let loose off the plantation. You know, and that's just the bottom line to that. But there are some, like myself, of course, who chose to come this way, far as further west of the Mississippi, to seek out different opportunities that some of us did not feel that we could actually focus on achieving while we were in the, you know, states of our birth origin or the states, you know, where we were raised at or lived at most of our lives. So we chose to come out here in the middle of nowhere around a bunch of course, Caucasians who's mostly overpopulated in these states that I just named. And hey, you know, there it is. I mean, so it's like, but you know, see, the thing is, the reason still why, you know, it's not put out in the media nor social media bars when it comes to police shootings of soul people in America. The reason you don't hear about it much here in states like Nebraska, Iowa, or North or South Dakota, or even, of course, Montana or Idaho, places like that, because it's not that many of them of us for them to worry about. You know, like for one instance, when I was in Montana, right? Like I was saying before, the Caucasian, the most of their problems they had was dealing with the Native American population, because, you know, you do got more Native Americans scattered out throughout this certain part of the country than most other parts of the United States. You know what I'm saying? So, and they have a lot of issues, especially when it come to them reservations that they be on, like Pine Ridge in South Dakota, north of here. You know, a lot of them came down here because it was so bad up there, you know. And of course, a lot of them do have they drinking problems, so they bring that down here to Nebraska, you know. And you know, the politicians of this state stopped them from being able to purchase alcohol right on the Nebraska South Dakota state line, near where they were at in Pine Ridge, South Dakota. So they decided to just come further south into the state of Nebraska, where they could have more access to alcohol, you know, because that was their only access when they had that, you know, that store where they were selling alcoholic beverages at on the state line between here and South Dakota. And of course, in Montana, you know, because of that war with General Custer that he lost in the first battle against the Native Americans up there in Montana, to this day is still tension behind that. So that's one of the reasons why there's issues going on between the Caucasian population and the Native American population there. So that kind of, even though, of course, if a Negro go up there like anywhere else and get out of line, you know, Caucasians gonna deal with you like anywhere else. But up there, where it kind of overshadows our presence, because they concentrate more on dealing with them, because there's more of them than it is, of course, us up there, when you want to talk about so-called minorities, you know, and stuff like that. So, but other than that, there are those who come out here, migrate from places like back east, or like I said, from the West Coast, and they come here and they do become successful, end up having families, raising kids, because some of these states, some parts of these states, like even here in Nebraska, you could still raise a child, unlike many other places around the country, you know? So that's another reason why soul people started gravitating toward migrating this way, you know, because they didn't want to raise their children in them big urban cities, especially like I mentioned, Chicago or Detroit or even New York, or out there on the West Coast in LA somewhere, you know. And so it's like, you know, this is like the last, like white folks looked at this place in the early part of the 20th century as the last frontier. Well, that's how modern day soul people who travel in this way or relocating to these states out here in this part of the country is looking at it. It's like it's the last frontier, basically, for some of us. Far as some of us look at it, you know, it's like the last frontier. So, and I want to say, also speaking of that, I've been here since the day, yesterday or today, definitely today, marks my 9th anniversary since I moved here to Nebraska. Since I relocated here to Nebraska, it's been 9 years for me as of this day. And despite what I've went through here, even with the racism and discrimination that goes on here and all that other stuff, you know, I've been able to manage, maintain, striving for education, something that I was not more focused on when I was back in my home state of Michigan, you know, and in other places that I've been where I wasn't that focused as far as in that area being concerned. And also I've been able to work since I've been here. I'm presently now maintaining a job. When I was back home from where I came from, I didn't, that wasn't even a part of my description of a human being. You know, I'm gonna just tell you like it is. I was into other things, of course, that was nowhere but down the road to the path of destruction. You see what I'm saying? So I have to give credit to what credit is due. That since I've been here, I've been able to manage on improving my life, you know, and I also want to say too, is that, and I know some of you who may be watching this live on social media might disagree when I say this, but the truth of the matter is we come from a place of reality on this platform. So I'm just going to speak reality. In terms of this place here, you know, even though Omaha is got sort of a big crime rate because it is the biggest city in Nebraska, but it's still not like your typical big cities like a Kansas City or Detroit or Chicago. It's still not like at that point, but things do happen there, and things do happen here in the state capital of Lincoln, Nebraska. And Omaha is still more worse than Lincoln. You know, but what I wanted to say was that here, you know, these folks here, I'm talking about the Caucasians who are also the majority here, they tend to keep things under control when it comes to crime that we don't see happening in big cities like Detroit, Chicago, you know, where crime is just totally out of control, even to the point where you find where even most of half your police force got some parts to play in that. You see what I'm saying? And we talking about cities where you have a large majority of a black police force. You see what I'm saying? So I've seen since I've been here where, you know, they have it more under control. And I'm not saying that there's no corruption here when it comes to the police, because in any police department anywhere in the United States, there is corruption. You know, let's not get that twisted. Okay. But like I said, they tend to keep things more under control here. Here, you might hear when it comes to killings. Now, it's been like some shootings going on, drive-by shootings, people, houses getting shot up. You know, I lost a friend that was from the continent over in the country of Zimbabwe to gun violence. And this took place at the hands of a Caucasian, okay, which resulted from a car accident, which he claimed he was, what's that word he used, where he was panicking. That's why he pulled out his gun and point blank shot my friend 6 times fatally. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, but you don't hear, the most of the time you hear about shootings going on here is maybe once or twice out the year. When I first came here 9 years ago, you might only heard about one shooting, one fatal shooting, I mean. Because, I mean, you got multiple shootings, but when you talking about killings, you don't just hear about that many of them here like that. You know, and this is why the local authorities here is not equipped, wouldn't be equipped to deal with such a thing like that if it got out of control. They would probably have to call in the National Guards or even the federal government to help convene on getting it back under control. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't have that many type of gun violence shootings going on here. So that's the reason why I said that it's still kind of safe to say place to raise even a child compared to other places that do have high gun violence and stuff like that. And I'm just, you know, adding on to my point of the reason why you have soul people that's migrating out here to this part of the country and further west, like I more so explained. You know, you know, last I heard, like in Salt Lake, Utah, where a lot of those Katrina evacuees was sent to during Katrina, you know, it's like they claim because of their presence is why crime is rising in Salt Lake, Utah, in Salt Lake City, Utah. But I would have to disagree with that, because you have other minority populations there, like the Samoans, them people like from the Pacific Islands, you know, that's considered as Pacific Islanders that's there. That's, you know, caught up in that crook blood gang stuff out there. So it just ain't the blacks out there that's, you know, involved in crime or whatever, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But I guess they're trying to put the blame, like they usually do, on the so-called American Negro mainly. When things started getting more out of control, too much for where it's like it's beyond where they could to a point where they can usually handle the situation at. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, like I said, you know, unlike those of us who do get involved with crime, that just gonna be criminals, gangbangers, drug dealers, no matter where they go, where you still got a segment of us, like I said, like myself, who come out here to improve their lives or to better themselves or to start new families and so forth and on, you know. So and believe me, because I'm a first-hand witness to it, I think I've suffered more, whether you call it covert racism or straight out racism. I think I've suffered more of that since I've been here in Nebraska than anywhere else I've been. And I've lived in the South, in multiple states down south. And I didn't even experience racism like that down there, like I found myself dealing with here in Nebraska, you know. But like I say, that's one thing to deal with, you know. When you're talking about dealing with the racism, you could deal with that to a certain point anyway. Because I look at a lot, it's like this, a lot of these people around here, mostly that are Caucasian, that do have that mentality, most of them don't have no power or control that can affect me in my life. You see what I'm saying? So if they do call me the N-word or whatever, if they do, you know, do something that's considered racist or discriminatory, they don't really have no power. You know, but those that do have power, then those are the ones that one got to really worry about. You see what I'm saying? But you know, those you know, either way it go, like I said, in some of these places out here, the air is more cleaner, the streets is more cleaner. Especially when I was in Montana and Billings, I never seen no streets clean like in Billings, Montana. Matter of fact, Billings, Montana is considered the district city part of the state of Montana. You know, they considered the district part of Montana because you know, you do got places like Bozeman and Missoula, which is a college town, which is considered the next biggest cities right up under Montana, in the state of Montana. But Billings had the most cleanest streets I've ever seen. And even doing like do Mondays and Fridays, doing mid-afternoon hours or noon hours in the afternoon, you couldn't even hear a pin drop. That's how quiet it was in the streets up in Billings, Montana. You know what I'm saying? It was very quiet. And even though up there, and even though their population back then was like around 100-some thousand people, but you couldn't even hear a pin drop. You could go to some towns that only got like 30 or 50-some thousand people that I've lived in, you know, and you would hear all kind of noise day in and out. But in Billings, Montana, it wasn't that type of situation. Now you do, like I said, like anywhere else, you do got your problems with crime to a certain point. You got your drugs, because throughout this area here, you got a lot of people on meth and Oxycontin and all that kind of stuff, you know, and of course, like everywhere else, caught up on that fentanyl and stuff. So drugs, like anywhere else, is definitely a problem here, you know, and I see around here all the time where, you know, the authorities really come down hard on people that's selling that meth. You know, they be giving them a lot of time, especially the feds. You know, they be giving them a lot of time around here. But that's for cooking and selling that stuff, you know. So, I mean, but other than that, like I said, you know, the crime is not so out of control out here to where, you know, they really got something to worry about dealing with, you know, like they do in the other states where you got bigger cities at and stuff. But I mean, it's like this here. I would, to tell you the truth, you know, in a way, that's a good thing. But at the same time, we still want to be somewhere as soul people where we got more, you know, soul black representation. Like a relative recently spoke to me about, you know, and that's true. You know, you really want to be somewhere where you got more soul black representation, because here, you know, you do got some type of chapter of the NAACP here, but you know, like anywhere else, the NAACP is diddly doodle, basically. You know, they don't even help people back in the States where it's more populated with the soul black people. So, you know, I really don't expect them here to really do much, especially when it comes to discrimination and all that on the jobs, or even with housing discrimination and stuff like that, you know. But other than that, you don't got organizations out here like the Urban League. You don't even have organizations out here. And I don't even think you got the Nation of Islam out here. Now, I heard it was some followers of Farrakhan that was based in Omaha, but other than that, I never really heard the Nation of Islam's presence being well known here in Nebraska, let alone the mother groups like the Moorish Science Temple, the Hebrew Israelites, and all that. You don't really hear too much about them here in Nebraska or in states like Iowa, you know, and some of these other states I mentioned. You're not going to hear that because, first of all, it's not that many of us here. And then, you know, you just don't hear about them like that here, you know. So, and then you don't even have now you do have a lot of us that are into the Christianity religion, of course, that's here. You do, those of us that are, you know, you do have a presence of soul black people that are in Christianity here. But you don't, like I said, that other pro-blackity stuff and that other so-called religion stuff, you don't hear about that here too much. And in a way, that's a good thing too, because I don't really want to be walking down no street bars having some Negro trying to sell me a bean pie or a final call or a Muhammad speech paper, and all they just trying to do is get money from somebody, you know. So I mean, in a way, that's of course, that's definitely a good thing, because it don't serve no purpose nowhere you go in this country when it comes to us as soul black people. But you know, I just feel like that we some of us, like I said, that do come here, we do end up making personal gains in our life that, like I said, we wouldn't have been too focused on doing in the other places that we came from. So I attribute that, and as a way of saying too that I can appreciate my situation here to a certain point, you know, and this, you know, I probably may not be here for the rest of my life. Who knows? But I'll say this. It's been a smoother experience for me. You know, it's been definitely a smoother experience for me. You know, and it's more easier to step around trouble here. I mean, because we know trouble will find you anywhere you go, whether you're looking for it or not. Okay. But here it's easy to step around trouble compared to me being back in a place like home in Detroit, Michigan, where I have to just face it head on sometimes without choice. You see what I'm saying? Here, a lot of times I could just get around it. You know, and for that reason, that's another thing that I could attribute that, which is why I've been able to maintain not getting caught up, you know, on no crazy stuff out there, because a lot of these people know here, you know what I'm saying, that a lot of people around here, I'm gonna just tell you, they will call the police. Some will call the police a lot of times and won't even tell you they will, but they will call the police. So with that said, a lot of people here, you know, the average person, like the street person here, they know that if they do something out of pocket and they know you will call the police, they're basically going about their business. They'll talk crazy for a minute and be like, you know, I don't give a damn about you calling the police and this and that. But when the thick go to getting rough, they don't want nothing to do with these police here. So, you know, they gonna go on about their business. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, these white folks around here will only tolerate so much, but they not gonna put up with this, a lot of stuff, half the stuff that goes on in other places around the country. They just not. And that's why here in Nebraska, they be handing out lengthy sentences. I mean, I might look on the internet locally and see what's going on here in town. Somebody done got 50 to 200 years for a robbery. Where in other states, you might just get, what, 2 to 5 years for something. Here, they be handing out longer than big NBA scores here. They don't be playing. And if they do see where they could give you the death penalty, they will put you on death row here too, you know, because this is a death penalty state. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's very conservative here. So, you know, they not finna be playing no games like that with you. You get out of pocket here, especially if you coming from another state, bringing whatever baggage you had back there. Oh, they gonna you know, straighten that matter out real quick. They ain't gonna hold you up. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's like, you know, I mean, you can't really. That's why I tell people, if they, that's why I always tell people, if these folks gonna come here, they need to just keep on Highway 80. You know, they need to keep on, you know, they need to, but a lot of them come through here and get caught on Highway 80 with drugs, where they transporting it from the west Coast or from somewhere back east or from the East Coast. They get caught right in and end up on Highway 2, where the Nebraska State Penitentiary is. You see what I'm saying? Or whether you got too much drugs and they'll let the feds handle it. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, they not finna play with nobody here like that. They be pulling, and I hear on social media people who travel through here in Nebraska, of course, so people that get pulled over by the state troopers, they be complaining about how racist they is and all that. Okay, you know this, and you know you're gonna be profiled. Why the hell you gonna be running up and down Highway 80 with a bunch of drugs in your possession like that? And you know it's 9 times out of 10 you gonna get pulled over by some state trooper. Come on, that ain't hard to figure out. So, you know, when a lot of them guys be complaining like that, I'll be like, you know what? When I hear people complaining like that, like I even had to tell a relative who lives right over, as far as I know, in Colorado. And he always travels through Nebraska when he coming from back east to get to Colorado. And I told him, because, you know, whatever you do, you better be right when you traveling up and down that Highway 80. I actually had to even advise my own relative about that. When you actually traveling up that Highway 80, you better have your stuff together. Because when them Caucasian police, state troopers pull you over, whatever mistake you made, you should have thought about correcting it before you made it. Because they don't play here in Nebraska like that. You know, and you know, they even be catching Caucasians and other people like Mexicans transporting drugs through this state. This one of the considered one of the intermediate central parts between the East and West when it comes to that type of stuff. So that's why they so heavy out there when they patrolling on that highway, on Highway 80. You know, and I mean, but like I say, if you come out here and you do what you're supposed to be doing, you abide by the law, you know, get a job, go to school, do whatever you got to do. I'm not going to say you're not going to get harassed or profiled racially or nothing like that. But a lot of times you're not going to be caught up, nor even to the point of having contact with the law if you just do what you got to do here. That's pretty much how states like this is, when it's not that many of us here. But if you open up yourself to these people to, you know, take the initiative or the opportunity to do whatever they want to do to you, then hey, that's on that individual. Because you know, when you come into a state like Nebraska and you are a person of soul, you definitely got to be extra more careful how you move out here, as opposed to how you being careful if you living in one of them states like where them big cities at. And that's the reality when it comes to being a sole black person here in these great, what they call Great Plains states of the United States of America. You know, so I mean, you got to be very, very careful of how you move. It's like you got to move on pins and needles out here. You know, and I would say that in a way it's a little bit more worse than what even our ancestors had to experience leaving from the South going to the North. You see what I'm saying? Because up there, even though, like someone say, they may have had a problem with slavery, but you were still inferior to them. Well, out here, of course, we are inferior to them too. But see, they make sure out here that we're not comfortable like that. Well, we just can move recklessly any kind of way we want to. These white folks out here make sure of that. And that's just the way it is out here. Unless, like somebody say, we want to take control of a state, you know what I'm saying, to be able to circumvent that situation. But this is why, because we're not taking control of a state like Mississippi, to where we could create a safe haven for us and our next generations to come behind us, then you're going to continue having migrations like this occurring, especially the states like this, where I'm at. You know, you're going to have us running from pillar to post to other parts of the country, especially where we're not even welcomed at all. In some of these states like where I'm at, technically it's worse than the South because you got more of us in the South as a majority. You see what I'm saying? That's why I mentioned the thing about being somewhere where we have more representation. See, but I want to keep it honest, you know, because a lot of people, and I don't know what's going on or what's being said in the comment section, because usually somebody will ask me, well, what brought me here to Nebraska? And I've been asked that question 100,000 times. Okay. I don't know how many times I've been asked that question since I've been here. You know, say Nebraska sounds nice. There you go, Deacons of Reality. Get out of here. Yeah, but yeah, anyway, yeah, but anyway, you know, right, but anyway, yeah, man, you know, I'm like, wow, you know, I mean, it's been a lot of people that's asked me that question, even back home, you know. I got relatives I was talking to today that was at a wake because of a relative a dear relative to me that I just lost, you know, and they was FaceTiming me, and I was overhearing one of them saying, oh, he's way out there by himself, ain't got no money and 99 and all this kind of stuff, you know. And any place else I've been in the United States, because I have been a traveler since I've been an adult, and anywhere else I've been in the United States, I never had relatives questioning my whereabouts like that. But as soon as I got here to Nebraska, I couldn't stop the questions from coming in. It was like bombarding me from time to time. You know, what made me come out here? And I have to, you know, even though I don't want to be belligerent and say I ain't got to explain nothing to nobody because I'm grown, but I do explain to them basically why I came out here. You know, it's not really too much of a big deal, but you know, people ain't used to hearing of people that look like me coming to places like this, I guess. So, you know, that's another thing too, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I I figured that you know, I could respond to their questions to the best of my ability, which is all I could do, and just leave it at that, you know. But yeah, man, I really don't have too much time to be on here because I got other things I got to do. It's my last day off. Plus, I got to attend the family members because of a recent death that happened, you know, with one of my relatives, you know. And so, I mean, you know, but I do want to add, though, before I do close out, that you know, I would encourage soul people that if you are going to relocate to another part of the country, you know, there's nothing wrong with coming to, you know, states like this if you got a purpose. I'm talking about a real purpose. I'm talking about not being on no crazy stuff. Because out here, like I said, they will tighten you up with that time. You know, they don't play out here like that. Especially if they know you coming from them big cities, trying to bring that type of element here to a place like this. Oh, they really gonna deal with you. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, it was about a few years ago since I've been here. I heard this about maybe 4 or 5 years ago since I've been here, but they said that they actually had police coming from Chicago and Detroit actually working with this local police department here in town where I'm at. We showed them how, you know, gang signs are thrown up, what type of signs, sign language criminals use that's coming from them areas where their departments are located at. You see what I'm saying? And they train these local police here how to actually catch on to stuff like that, you see, and how to deal with that, you know. So, yeah, you know, they definitely are not going to play with you, especially if you coming from, like I said, those type of demographics or geographical places, like I mentioned before. You know, they not gonna play with you, and they ain't gonna play with you, period. But they ain't gonna play with you, and they know you bringing that stuff from out of state, coming here with it. You know, they not gonna play with you like that. You know, and so it's like you know, if you gonna come here doing the same stuff you was doing there, selling drugs, ripping and running, committing crimes to get drugs or whatever, or gang banging, killing up each other, and doing all the other crazy stuff. If you come here with that, they got a place for you, or media spot to put you at. Like I said, they not gonna hold you up. What did the brother say? I can't. Hey, can you read that to me, brother Taalik? Because my eyes is blurry. You know I'm a diabetic.
Great conversation, Taalib.
Okay, thank you, brother. Yeah, before this live came on, I started to do some homework, and I couldn't. My eyes was so blurry, I couldn't even see. So I had to put the pen down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this diabetes is nothing to play with.
No, it's not.
So yeah, but yeah, Deacon's reality. Yes, definitely. Yeah, you know, but yeah, it's just you know, we put ourselves in situations as soul people. Like the other night, I seen a young brother downtown acting crazy, and I usually don't be downtown on the weekends. I stopped doing that during my first couple of years here, but I felt like it was nice out at nighttime, so I decided to take a little stroll, which is, like I say, going downtown, which is something at that time of night and on the weekends that I usually don't do. But anyway, I seen a young brother, you know, he got some issues because I see him running around here anyway. He got some issues, and there was another soul brother, you know, and he was trying to tell him, hey, you know, because he was talking about he don't care nothing about going to jail and all that, and he was acting crazy, right? And the police standing there watching him, you know. And he told him, he said, man, you better worry about what they could do to you. You need to be worried about that. You know, I told bro, I say, let alone worried about, he better be worried about them shooting his butt the way he was acting crazy. You know what I'm saying? You know, so when I see soul brothers and sisters putting themselves in that position, sometimes that's why I even say on these social media platforms that a lot of times we can't blame those for a lot of stuff that happened to us to our people, because a lot of soul people put themselves in situations like that, even knowing what could happen to them, and they still arrogantly or ignorantly just put themselves in that situation and get dealt that you know, blackjack hand, you know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, you got people marching and trying to tear up cities and stuff, and half the time it be over situations like that in this country, you know. So that's the reason why I say that, you know, a lot of us, I mean, don't nobody deserve to die no earlier than they got to, you know, but a lot of us put ourselves in them positions. That's the only thing I could say. And so who do they blame? They blame others when they should be blaming themselves, you know. And I'm gonna keep it $1 here on Reality Temple on Earth, you know. That's just the way it is. Bars here, you know. I'm not like one of them pro-blackity black kind. Oh, they shouldn't have did that to their brother. They should have handled it this way and handled it that way. And nope. That brother or sister, soul sister, put themselves in that position, especially going in that situation, knowing what could be coming at them, and they bit the bullet, and that's all it is to it, you know. So, I mean, now it's a difference when you don't go out your way to put yourself in that position, and something like that happened to you. But when you go out your way to put yourself in that position, well, what you expect? Then you got your family all over TV crying, you know, Al Sharpton, Benjamin Crump giving the eulogies at the funeral, everybody crying and slobbing all out the mouth, talking about they shouldn't have shot their son or daughter. But we got to think about the situations as soul people that we openly put ourselves in for that to happen. You know, so like I said, you know, and this is the reason why so many people don't like our platform, because like what I'm saying now, we're going to tell it simply like it is without putting no sugarcoat on it, you know, and that's what they don't like about this platform. That's why I'm so glad we got rid of so many people doing the purge that started last year, you know? That's why I'm glad we did get rid of so many people. And this is the first time in the first couple of years we've been able to come on these platform panels without so much toxic waste anyway, because that's all it was. But anyway, with that said, you know, like I said, I got some stuff to do. And what was that? What was that they said? Why? We keep
it real.
Oh yeah, yes, definitely true that. Yeah. The purge continue. Yeah, definitely, without no question. Yeah. So yeah, but anyway, in closing, I would like to thank our #1 soul brother, Angel Snuff 7, for giving me this time to speak on this panel this evening. And you know, I like to yield the mic back over to him and let him take us out of here. And with that said, peace to everyone who listened to this commentary by myself, and who watched it on social media or who will be watching it when it's posted on YouTube and Facebook. And with that said, once again, peace.
All right, let's give a round of applause to our brother Taalib, for bringing us this message tonight. Hey, you got a lot of folks. You have a lot of arrogant folks. He only got one. He's there by himself. He clapping all by himself. You know, this is the sad thing about it. You can have one person clapping, listening to a message, or you can have 1 million clapping, which is fine and dandy. The problem, or what is most embarrassing, is that your 1,000 or your 1 million ain't doing no more than the one person that's clapping. You ain't doing nothing. We ask here all the time on this platform, if you got it going on like that, where are the videos to show your accomplishments, what you're doing? Now, I hear you bragging about what y'all do as individuals, making money for yourself, doing for yourself. I saw one of Brother Ben X's recent videos, and he was going, he had him and his boys, the FYI, with him, going to that expo or whatever, and he dressed up like Maxwell Smart or somebody, you know, coming in there, you know, all G. I'm like, are you a Muslim or some kind of gangster? I mean, what the hell are you, man? But that's the mentality they have. This is their mentality. Their mentality is they're going to attract the people with material things. That's why Minister Farrakhan, or supposed to be the reason why they want Mr. Farrakhan riding around in limousines and show off the mansions. And all. That's supposed to attract the people. And that's fine and dandy. The problem is, after all these years, realistically, how many of those that you attracted, how many of them end up in a mansion and living that kind of way? Because I know my people been in the Nation of Islam for over 40 years. And if it wasn't for their personal job, they wouldn't have nothing. They didn't get nothing from the Nation of Islam except a bunch of talk, a bunch of hype. They didn't get nothing. They did well on their jobs.
They retired with their pensions and that type of thing. They didn't get nothing from the Nation of Islam. Nobody can say they got anything from the Nation of Islam of benefit except a pretty ass speech. Because I know I didn't get nothing. Only thing they did was take. So you doing all that laughing and giggling. Only one person. Yeah, but that means you got a bunch of, that's just a bunch of fools. So there's nothing, I mean, who is that supposed to impress another fool? Because it don't impress people that's really into something. It don't impress white folks. You can't compete with them. All that clapping that you do. They didn't build this nation on clapping. Now it has its purpose to inspire, to motivate. And that's what they did in the Revolutionary War here. They went to the people and motivated them to fight the British. We got to get them off their back. They want to, the mother country want to get all the riches, but don't want to do the work and the suffering. The hell with that. And they went to war with the mother country 2 times. And then they went to war with the ally, which was France. They had to fight them, our ally. But it goes back to the motivation. And you see what all that did for them. What is all our posturing? What is that getting us? It's not getting us nowhere. It's a show. That's all it is a show. These people, whether you like it or not, they bled and they died for this country. You want somebody to give your happy ass something on a silver platter. It's not going to happen. When you take your happy ass to Africa or wherever else you go to on this planet, the only thing you're going to do is benefit them. That's all you're going to do. All the people that, I'm going to Africa, so you can live under the rule of somebody else. You would think after 400 years of slavery, after 300, 400 years of oppression, slavery, discrimination, you would think that we would want to be in a place where, damn, I can make the rules for a change. Going to Africa don't impress nobody. All you're doing is going to be subjugated under somebody else. So what? And then the main people talk about, oh, the black man is God. There's nothing God about you. You don't create nothing. The black man is the original man. You don't do nothing original. The only thing your ass do is continue to act and behave like a slave. Following somebody, serving somebody, always under somebody. You don't make no rules. You are under the rules. We should be sick of that. I know I am. Like I told them suckers, I would rather sleep in the ditch with the mosquitoes than be here in your mental institution. The hell with your 3 meals a day. I don't want it. I take my chances with the mosquitoes in the ditch. Most of us, we won't do that. We don't have that kind of attitude. We want to go somewhere where we can be comfortable and somebody's going to give us. We waiting on God and Jesus. Spaceship's going to come out the sky. Did you see the mother plane in Nebraska, Brother Taalib?
Nah, brother.
I'm pretty sure the mother plane visit Nebraska. Let me say this and we're going to get out of here. The bottom line is this. When there's tornadoes or hurricanes, floods, and the national weather advisory, they come on and tell you, we would suggest you need to get out of here. There's a flood coming. There's a tornado coming. There's an earthquake coming. You get a warning that this is coming. Now, some people just can't, I mean, they walk and it's only, You can only walk so far, blah, blah, blah. You walking, whatever. But really, people don't want to leave. Even though there's a earthquake, a flood, hurricane, they don't want to leave. Why is that? They don't want to leave because that's my home. That's why they don't want to leave. My car is there. My couch is there. My TV is there. My grandmothers and fathers died there. This is my home. That's why they don't want to leave. So this subject that you talked about this evening, the reason why they left, it wasn't because they wanted to leave. It's because they was forced to leave. Because of oppression, because of threats on their life, because the South was the only home that they knew. The only home where their grandfathers died, great-great-grandmamas, the only home they know. So why are we leaving going to the north? Why are we leaving going to the west? And we don't know what the hell is in the north. We don't know what the hell is in the west. We don't know. But where you at, somebody want to take your life. Where you at, somebody's bullying you, terrorizing you, making life hard for you. My mother and my aunties and uncles, they was making $3 a day to live in cotton. And that was a happy day. That was a happy day. This is the kind of suffering.
$3 a day, huh?
$3 a day. I mean, even when I was growing up, I mean, things was a little bit cheaper because even when I was growing up, if you gave me a quarter, I was a happy camper with a quarter. A quarter? Shoot, that was great when I was a child. You give a child a quarter now, they'll look at you and say, what the hell is this? You got to give a child some paper money. You can't give them no quarter, no 75 cents. You give me 75 cents, I think I'm in heaven. You know, when I was a child, even when I was a child, you go to the store with a quarter, you know, you have a nice little bag of candy, you know, whatever. But people left our homes because of terrorism. That's the reason why they left. So they didn't know where they was going. It's just like when somebody's kicking your backside and you running. When you running away from a bully, you don't know where you're running to. You just know you got to get the hell away from them because they're trying to hurt you. So you just running. So our people was just running. End up north, going to the west, whatever, they out of fear, running. This is making another problem for us. Because what has happened is now we're scattered. And this makes unity even more difficult because now we got people scattered, all divided up. Not only are you divided in the mind anyway, now you screwed up geographically, which makes a people weaker. Now we have an even worse problem. And then we talk about going to Africa, you make yourself even weaker. We're not realizing these things is making us as a people weaker. When we divide ourselves, we all scattered like that. It's like it's like in nature. Most herd animals are not scattered. They are united in a certain manner. And usually what happens is most of the strong males on the outside, they put the females outside of the strong males, and the weak, the sick, the elderly animals, and the babies are in the center, protected by it. We're all scattered up, all divided up, which makes us even weaker as a people. This is why the Mississippi campaign is important, because the Mississippi campaign would be the beginning of bringing all this together, even though we're scattered like that, because it's like the human body. You create a heart, and then this heart feeds the rest of the body, pumps the blood through the rest of the body. This is why the Mississippi campaign is important, so that you got to have a core. You got to have a place of you got to have a brain. You got to have a source. The heart and the brain is the most important part of the body in order for us to function. It's one of the first organs that get developed when we're developing in the womb. The brain and the heart. You got to have those things. We need a heart, we need a brain. Because as you know, the heart, it just feeds the body, it just pumps the blood through the body. But you need that consciousness. You have to have a proper formed brain in order for that organism to function. This is the purpose of the Mississippi campaign. To bring this body together, to be the core. And if you don't understand that, you're just in bad shape. We're just in bad shape. You cannot function. And we haven't, this is not an issue of debate. We have not done that. This is the reason why we're suffering. All these people, yeah, you got one person clapping. But look at you, you're all scattered. There's no unity. You can't accomplish nothing. Because really, the bottom line is so many of these people are just fake. They actually enjoy and are comfortable in this stuff that we live in. As long as they get their little money, they're happy. As long as they can live comfortable, they're happy. You don't care nothing about the generations after you. They're gonna have to continue to struggle and suffer. See, if we were able to accomplish something like the Mississippi campaign, it would make things much easier on the next generation. What do the scriptures say? The scripture is talking about guiding the children as they need to be guided. Teach them what they need to do. Something to that. I paraphrase. That's what the scriptures talk about. We're not doing that. And for some of us should just say, we really don't know what to do. Why don't we just say we don't know what to do? Because I know I would, because I didn't. In 2007, I didn't know what to do, and I told them. I said, I don't know what to do. People would ask me, because I would criticize what somebody else is doing. Well, what you got? What was you? I said, I don't know, but I know what you're doing ain't working. I don't know. 2010, I didn't know what to do. I couldn't say. I know that what we're doing is not working. And for those who have followed this platform, I think it was around 2009. I'm going to try to find the old video. I was trying to come up with something like the Mississippi campaign. I think it was 2009, 2010. Because I understood that what we're doing is not working. So we have to, we already know these things. We don't want to do it. And for me, that's fine and dandy. Because I'm not a savior. I'm not a messiah. I'm not divine. Keep doing what you're doing. I understand that all stories don't have a happy ending. I understand that everybody is not really interested. They say out of their mouth that they're interested in our situation and the future of our church. They're not really interested. You're only interested in yourself. What I feel comfortable with. And if that's how you are, just be real about it. Stop talking about you have some kind of concern with black people's future. No, yo, Negro, you just care about yourself. How you feel, what you want to do. Look, one of those people that truly felt like the type of people that they call Uncle Toms and Coon, I would tell you, I'm out for myself. I'm looking for the American dream. Them Negroes, I got mine. Those Negroes need to go get theirs. Will you donate to my Cash App so I can get mine quicker? I'll just tell y'all right. Just, but, because we know, we see the fakes. And all the people, you have to understand. When you see Louis Farrakhan and all these other people that follow him, they're like him. They have the same mind that he is. So really he's doing a favor because he's attracting all the people like him that's not about nothing. That's all it shows. It just goes to show that the people aren't really real. They're not real. They're not real. They want to pretend like they're doing something. So if I get with Louis Farrakhan and we put on this big show, they can come and say and pretend like they're doing something. And the reality is they're not doing anything. And it's quite obvious. I don't know why people want to try to argue and debate me. It's everything that I'm saying, I'm saying it because it's quite obvious. You don't have to do no research. Where's the videos? These people are out for themselves. They can talk about what they did for themselves. They ain't doing nothing for the people. Because if you're doing something for the people, you're going to be poor and broke. Because everything about you goes to securing the people, like Dr. King. Like Malcolm, they died broke. Freedom fighters die broke. How the hell you going to get rich in the system that you say is corrupt? But they getting rich and making money off the system, off the dominant society system that you say is corrupt and needs to be destroyed, and you making your money. Now you tell me how that makes sense. It don't make any sense to me. I don't want their diamonds. I don't want their gold. I don't want their house. I want their swimming pool. I don't want nothing they got. I want my own. And in order to get your own, you're going to have to sacrifice, suffer, and even die. If you're not willing to do that, then it's all a game, it's all a show. I don't want your $1,000 suit. I can wear, they have a suits on sale right now for $100. That's good enough for me. I don't need no $1,000 suit. I can look
$1,000 gators and bro hands.
Yeah, dumb stuff. I mean, dumb stuff.
Oh man.
I'm gonna say this. There's a sister, and you can probably look it up on the internet. It's a sister. She got some brothers and sisters together, and they have created a 51 house community. I forgot exactly where it's at. Which is a beautiful thing. And somebody asked in the comment section, how come all the houses look the same? Why shouldn't the houses look the same? Everybody's on the same level. We're all doing the same thing. No, you won't. Now, what you do and how you decorate inside your house is different, but all the houses are upside. What difference do it make? We should concentrate on us, on our lives, instead of a damn house that we live in. You should want to be in a position where you don't have to work as hard as we do and spend time with your wife and your children and your dog Scruffy. Some of us, we putting in 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. Our husband and our wives are falling in love with the people on the job because they with these people more than they are with the people with their actual family. And so this is breaking up families. I can't be with my wife. I can't be with my, you don't even know what your children like. Only thing you know is you make the money and put the money out. What you want to do? I want to go to the basketball game. I want to go over here for soccer practice. That's all you do. You don't even know your children. You don't even know your wife no more. You don't know your husband. You don't know your mothers because you're working to death. And can you imagine being a truck driver? 14 hours a day. Some of these truck drivers work 6 days a week, 14 hours a day. What kind of family life they got? I'll tell you what kind of family life they got. They buying whores at the truck stop. That's what they're doing. The lot, what they call the lot lizards. That's what they're doing. Not because they really wanted to. That's their life. Because you can't go to your wife. You're on the road. Some of these truck drivers only come home 3 days out of the month. I know because I lived it. 3 days out the month. And then while you're working 14 hours a day. We need to put ourselves in a position, and even Caucasian people listening to me say, hell, I want to get with that. Working yourself to death. Not for the benefit of you, for the benefit of somebody else getting rich. Then the trucking company or the company that you're working for, they bragging and they hiring celebrities to advertise. Where your money? You the one doing the work. You paying some celebrity. That money should be going in the people's pocket. Hell, you already got my damn life. And so by the time you 60, 65 years, especially truck drivers, you all bloated up, hair done turn all gray. You got diabetes, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, jaundice, hepatitis C, hepatitis A, B, W. You all messed up. Now they waiting for your ass to die.
Damn.
Then gave your life away to somebody. So what I'm talking about I'm talking to soul brothers and sisters, but what I'm talking about also, I'm talking to the regular American person out there too. People that's working these damn jobs like that. You should want life to change. This has to change. Working like a damn slave. And I've heard people say, I'd rather give up some of my money if I get my time. I need my time. Don't even know your children. You go to your children. What? This is June, and children are graduating. You know, from the 8th grade to the 9th grade. They're graduating out of high school, and you go in there. You don't even know nothing about what they did in school because you're too damn busy working. Your babies is in daycare with strangers. You don't even know your children. Or if you're rich and want to show off your children with the nanny, you don't even know your children. Y'all just ships passing by. We have to create a different life, a whole different lifestyle. We have to look at life differently. So what if everybody lived in the same house? I thought we was equal. And if we're equal, then everybody living in the same house. What's the big deal? There was a primitive, so-called primitive tribe I saw on Nat Geo or whatever it was. They went to the tribe. They couldn't tell the people that was, you know, the elders, the council people, they couldn't tell who was who. Because everybody lived the same kind of way. And whatever anybody got, the whole village shared it. Nobody was tripping off who hunted it down and blah, blah, blah. If you went out and got an antelope or whatever, the whole village shared. Ain't no special families. There's no classism. everybody, even the children. Even the children was treated equal. We have to have a change in life. You know, they still want this royalty thing. You know, the kings and queens, I'm a god and a god, all that classism stuff. We need to cut all that stuff out. Ain't nobody no damn gods. Ain't nobody no damn king. That's what messed up humanity's life. You got these special people that think they special and divine or whatever. And actually the kings and the queens supposed to serve the people. They flip the script, now the people serve their personal garbage. So when you talk about those tombs in Egypt, it's not about the people. Those tombs in Egypt was designed for the royalty. They didn't give a damn about the poor. The poor was just thrown in the damn dirt. All those tombs, all those people, it costs a lot of money to get mummified. And if you didn't have the money, they just throw you in the dirt. They find mummies where people was half done because they couldn't afford the full treatment. Why you want to live in a society like that? You should want to live in a society where you can spend time with your family. You should want to live in a society where if we like Cadillacs, everybody can drive a Cadillac. Ain't nobody special than another. It can be done. Hell, bees do it. Ants do it. You a human being and you can't do it. You can't make a better life than this slave-ass life that we live in right now. And you a human being, you deserve extinction. You're a waste of life. You're a waste of air and water. A drought needs to come to the United States and burn all of us up. You stupid like that. Supposed to have all this intelligence. So our people, they didn't want to leave the South because that's home. Just like at your home. It would take a lot for you to leave your home because that's your home. Even if there's a fire, you'd be like, damn, I got to leave out. It's a fire. But you don't want to leave because it's your home. Our people was forced out of fear, domestic terrorism. And now, just like Brother Taalib said in his talk, he used the word running. We running. You should be tired of running. And so they run into Africa, running to Nebraska, running to Iowa. We had to run. Oppression and fear. When we gonna stop running? What you running to Africa for? A lot of them will tell you, well, I'm going to Africa because that's the motherland, but also they would tell you because of how they treated in the United States, the oppression of the United States. Running! I'm afraid, I'm scared. Running. We always running. I know how you feel because as a young boy, that's what I did. Had a bullies after me. Always running. Running. Teacher told me, boy, you should join the track team. Because I was real fast on a sprint. That long distance stuff I can't do. But that just all of a sudden take off, that sprint, I could do that. I got a lot of practice. I was running. Always running. Got tired of it one day. I said, I'm always running. Always scared. I'm tired of this. And one day I stood up and fought back and didn't give a damn about the consequences. I'm fighting back. My bully told me, boy, I'll crush you and smash you. I said, well, you're going to have to crush me like a fly or whatever you want to do, sir, because we're going to be some fighting son of a gun because I will heal and you will go to the bathroom. And when I see you go to the bathroom, I'm going to get that bat. While you sitting your ass on the toilet, I'm going to be like Batman. Kapow! I guess that's what we're going to be doing every day because I'm not running no more. And see, we lock on to Louis Farrakhan. We lock on to Tariq Nasheed and all these YouTube personalities, they nothing but a version of running, because they're not making us face the reality and face this once and for all. They got us running. That's one reason why they don't like Angel Snubbing Up 7, because we taking it to the enemy. For real. I ain't we talk about how the hell you take, they say this crap, talk about talking, Minister Farrakhan is taking truth to power. The enemy don't give a damn about your damn talk. That's why Dr. King was really the #1 problem for J. Edgar Hoover, because Martin Luther King was taking it to them. Martin Luther King was in the field dealing with these people physically face to face. What was the Nation of Islam doing? Making bean pies, assalamu alaikum, in their temple. That's what they was doing. Martin Luther King and his people was taking the action face to face. And they had to respect them for that. So actually, in reality, the Nation of Islam was more non-violent than Dr. King. What did they do violent? When the Los Angeles Police Department called the Nation of Islam out on their bluff, they punked out. And Malcolm knew they punked out in 1962. And he sat there looking all crazy. Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is a wise man. And our teacher told us, you know, he punked out. Because Malcolm, prior to that, Malcolm was talking all that stuff. Oh, I wish you would do that to a Muslim. We don't do this. We don't turn the other cheek. Your ass turned more than a cheek. And Malcolm looks silly. Go the videos on YouTube. Go look at Malcolm 1962, when that press conference after the Muslims got killed in Los Angeles, California. And he had to explain, well, our teacher, he's so wise. He punked out. And Elijah Muhammad punked out also because he know messing with these folks, they'll come down on the Nation of Islam and he'll lose all that rich living, how he lives rich and wealthy, and he didn't want to lose that. The hell with them niggas, they dead and shot and dead. Who gives a damn? We could easily replace them. I'm not losing, I had a 3rd grade education. There's no way in the hell I thought I'd be living like this. And because a few niggas got shot and killed, I'm gonna lose all this. The hell with that. And that's what happened. That was Malcolm's first clue. That should have been Malcolm X's first clue that these people wasn't real. Now, I will admit it wouldn't be wise to go all out. You know, you can't go toe-to-toe with the Los Angeles Police Department and the United States government. It would not be wise to go toe-to-toe. That would not be wise. Because you can do something. Because they did something against black folks. Hell, when the time came, they killed Malcolm. When the time came. But we're dealing with a bunch of folks that's cowardly. They're not real. They don't even use the word real. How many times do you ever even hear them even use the word real? They don't like using the word real. So you know they don't like coming here. They don't like coming here. And you know, we love Malcolm X here. But Malcolm X wasn't perfect. Malcolm X was a zombie caught up in that religious bull crap. He got caught up in it. And even his wife was trying to tell him, hey, these people not your friends, you know, hey, this, you know, hey. But he was all caught up in love with this man, idol worship. We should never do that. And Khalid Muhammad wasn't no different. He got caught up in idol worship. He loved Louis Farrakhan so much. And these men stabbed them in the back. But clearly these men, Taalib, Muhammad, and Malcolm, love these men so much. But they're not real. They didn't give a damn about you. You was just something to use. And when you serve your purpose, they threw you away like toilet paper. They didn't give a damn about me. If these people was my brothers and sisters, we should have a good relationship right now to this day. They never was my brothers and sisters. They never was my family. I was just something to use. And then when I didn't serve a purpose no more, I was thrown away like toilet paper. We should still be on good terms. We should still be helping each other and moving forward. These people aren't your brothers and sisters. They talk that crap. They're not. They're nothing but people who want slaves, just like the Peckerwood. They want you on their slave plantation for their purpose. That's all that it is. They're not your brother and sister. They never was. All those brothers and sisters that I had camaraderie with, all of us should still be on good terms. We're not. We was nothing but a bunch of zombies, a bunch of slaves on a plantation. That's all we were. And so when you get loose from the slave of the plantation, everybody go their separate ways. After the Civil War, there was no attempt for the slaves to try to unify and try to work together. All the slaves just start going their separate directions or whatever. And we're still that way to this day. And religion and these ideologies don't make things better. They just make things worse. They divide things. They're not bringing nothing together. They make things worse. Because you want me to be whatever you think I'm supposed to be, whatever the hell that is. I don't know. And it's a whole lot of stuff. Are you a Moor? You a Hebrew Israelite? You a Christian? You a Muslim? It's a lot. It's some other stuff I heard that we talking about. I don't even know nothing about. But we're in a good place here. We was talking about the purge. We're in a good place here. All these spiritual folks is gone from the platform. All the Pan Africans and all the Hebrews and the Christians and all these folks is gone. Because they never was real anyway. So it's happy. If it came down, only 2 people left. That should be a joyous occasion. It's not time to be sad. You should be celebrating because you finally rid your body of cancer. Those people with cancer cells. And look at them today. They still cancer. Wherever they go, they cancerous. They don't unite nobody. Wherever they go, there's trouble. There's no unity. There's no nothing. But I'm the problem. Angel Snubbed Up 7 is the problem. Well, where's your beautiful unity? Where is this beautiful stuff that you're supposed to create? Where is it? Go find Gay Nollywood. What is he doing? Brother Craig, Sister Noble, Maurice. Who else? I'm missing somebody. All these people. I'm the problem. What are they doing? No, if he had stayed on the path and stayed real, we probably could accomplish some things. But it wasn't real. You should be happy they're gone. And I see them talking, and some of the other faceless people that was on, I see them talking whatever. They sound so pitiful and look so pathetic. Like we said, a bunch of losers. They wasn't real. So it's a good thing. You don't want people like that part of the Mississippi campaign anyway. Because eventually they cancer. Eventually they will bring sickness to what you're trying to do because they're not real. So it's good that you get rid of people like that in the beginning anyway. We should be happy. If the Mississippi campaign can't be done right, it shouldn't be done at all. And with working with these kind of people, it would have been done wrong, and we would have wasted all your time, all your energy, because when you think that you got something going, these cancerous cells will come out and destroy everything that you got going on. They was cancer. Let alone the Mississippi campaign, they cancerous to the channel, period. All their profane language, nasty, cussing, vulgarity, nasty, just trifling people. And Brother Taalib never liked them anyway. Brother Taalib, no, he don't like nobody. It's not that Brother Taalib don't like nobody. He knows fake ass people. It don't take much. It don't take much this deceit. Brother Taalib always called me. Hey man, so and so. I don't like so and so. He ain't right. I'm like, damn, you don't like nobody. And he shouldn't, because all of them was phony. And just recently added to, what's his name? Mr. Daniel. What's his name? He exposed himself. He wasn't real. I could tell. He wouldn't. I could tell. So don't be sad or whatever. You should be happy you got all these cancers, because it's better to be by yourself than in the company of a fool. So what are all they doing? What are they doing? Making videos about Russia. I love Russia. What the hell? Negro, you live in America. Making videos about I love Russia and other dumbass stuff. What are they doing? Since Angel Snub Number 7 don't know what I'm talking about, since what Angel Snub Number 7 ain't bringing what we need, what are they doing? They ain't creating and doing nothing. The same thing they always do. Debate, read books. I'm a vegan. I don't eat meat. Who give a damn? Like they're special. I don't eat no meat. I don't eat dead animals. See, this is the reality of it. Anything you eat is going to be dead. Even if it's a plant, it's going to be dead. And I don't know what farm y'all ever grew up on, but any of us ever been on a field, some of these plants, when they start to rot, they smell just as bad as a damn dead dog. I went to a pumpkin patch one time. I'm like, damn, what the hell did that smell? It was those pumpkins out in the field rotting. Smelled just as bad as a damn dead dog. I didn't think plants could smell like that. And then you're a vegetarian and you eating plants that's grown in a poisonous environment. The soil is poison, the air is poison, the water is poison. I mean, what are you doing so damn special? All the plants you eating is hybrids. They're not real original plants. They all hybrids. Go do a Google search. See what the original watermelon look like. Go see what the original corn look like. Original beans look like. These plants, these vegetables that y'all, I'm a vegetarian. All of them is Frankenstein plants, low technology. They still hybrids, they grafted plants. Most of them, a lot of them never existed in nature. They was grafted. But you special because you a vegan. Who gives a, you know, a bunch of folks talking all this egotistical, I'm better, you know. But what do they do? What are they doing? What do they accomplish? Are they doing better than us? And they have, what they have is better than what we have. I don't see it. Brother Taalib, I want you to make a video and show us how they're better than us. Can you do that? Can you go and get the information and show all their accomplishments and what they're doing so great?
Nah, man.
They're doing the same crap they've been doing for the last 20-some years. Debates and lectures, selling DVDs and tapes and reading books and watching videos. That's all they do. They ain't accomplishing nothing else. And if they do accomplish something, it's for their own personal self. It don't help. It don't help me. It don't help you. It don't help nobody.
It's hard for me to find anything that they doing. I done ran out of options. I can't see anything. It's hard for me to find it. If I did, I might could make a video on a couple things, but I can't find nothing they do.
I was watching that brother, what's his name? Brother Fred, what's that channel? That brother Fred, he covers boxing too.
Oh, yeah. I know him. I think I know exactly who you talking about. Matter of fact, I think he's this brother from London, right?
Yeah, he makes a lot of videos defending Malcolm and the Nation of Islam.
Okay, yeah, I know who you talking about. Yeah, that brother from out of London. Yeah, I think I know exactly who you talking about. Yeah.
And he's married. I think he's married to an Asian woman.
Okay.
Yeah, he's married to an Asian woman. He makes a lot of good points or whatever, and he talks about how he was nothing and now he's a millionaire or whatever. Like, how do that help us, Negro? Because you a millionaire. You and your Asian, half Asian children. You ain't in no position to tell black people nothing. You raise yourself out the dirt, sir. We applaud you for that. Your money go to Asians. You didn't marry no black woman. You ain't in no position. How the hell you gonna tell black people, black Americans, what we need to do and what we need to say? You married an Asian. So all your wealth goes to the Asian community. It don't go to us. It don't do nothing. And while you are alive, what do it do for us? What are you doing for us? You're not doing nothing for us. These people not even in a position to tell black people anything. I don't even know why he talking about Malcolm X. What are you talking about Malcolm X? Malcolm X didn't teach interracial relationship, which that's your business. And I could care less. That's your business. But you ain't in no position to tell us nothing. You ain't no example for our children because you don't think a black woman is good enough for you. So who the hell are you? What do you do to help empower us? Nothing. Sit back and try to tell us what we don't do and blah, blah, blah. Freedom fighters use their money to free the people. If you're a millionaire, you using your money so you can show off and you come on YouTube and talk about I'm a millionaire. I got this and got that. So what, Negro? The reality is these Caucasian people, if they wanted to, they can come take all y'all stuff away from you if they want to.
Hey, you just hit something right on the nail because just like you said the other day on that other video you made about how if they gave us reparations, that's one way they could destroy the so-called American Negro. So another way they can destroy you is take your stuff. And ain't nothing you can. Listen, go back and ask our ancestors that's still living from the 1930s Depression.
They took it. They took it outright, and sometimes they use their law to justify taking it. It don't make no difference if it got took.
Right.
Because they make the laws.
Yeah.
And they got the power to do whatever the hell they please.
Yeah.
So you on your high horse, I'm a millionaire, I got this and that. Them people not in prison, they can take it. They can take your crap and shut you down anytime they feel like it.
And they ain't even got it. And they ain't even got to ostracize you to do it. They can just straight take it. And they ain't got to have no justification.
No.
That's cold-blooded robbery there.
Well, this is the country. They've been doing it. They've been doing it for hundreds of years. No big deal.
Yeah.
We just got comfortable and forget who we living with.
Yeah.
You know, we've been living with the lion, and the lion is full, so we forget that he likes to eat. He likes to eat wildebeest.
Right.
He likes to eat antelope.
Mm-hmm.
You act like it's not going to be your turn. Things have changed. Things ain't changed like you think they have. And like we say on this platform all the time, if the right thing happened in the world, you're going to see it. If the right thing happened in the world, you're going to finally see the reality of what we've been dealing with. When people are able to really express and do what they really feel and what they want to do. If the right thing happened in the world. And we are in a position to do nothing. We're not in a position, we can't even try to defend ourselves to do nothing at all. I don't understand us. I do to a certain point, but I don't understand that. The reason why our people left the South is real simple. It's called survival. No more, no less. They didn't want to leave the South. That's home. They had to survive. And so they survived and they suffered so we could be here with our comfortable air-conditioned ass. Barbecue grill ass.
Hey, Taalik, you know, blacks in the South still to this day, because I even have a relative that spoke on it to me, that lives in the South. But, you know, they can't believe how we was able to survive that tumultuous racism in the North.
Yeah.
They can't even believe it. They've even spoken about it. Like, how could y'all survive what y'all go through in Chicago and New York and Detroit? Because I mean, there
was no safe haven for us. Wherever we went, west, north, wherever we went, there was no safe haven.
No. Oh, no. No. Especially with the conditions that come along with it, you know?
Yeah. Because I was watching that sister's, we might be related because her people come from Greenwood, Mississippi area, you know, the Delta and Greenwood, just like mine. Hell, we might be related to it. You know, I'm going to see if I can reach out and contact that sister. Hell, we might be related. Her people come from the same place mine did. But
hey, as a matter of fact, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. called Cicero, Illinois, the most racist place he ever saw.
Sure did.
He said that out of his own mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, he sure did. And he got the hell out of I never went back.
Yeah.
I'll stay down south, bro. Yeah, because that sister's relatives, her grandmother ended up in Iowa. They just had to get the sister that was she made that documentary called the 1619 Project.
Yeah.
And she was talking about her family and how they left the South and all that type of good stuff.
Right.
And her grandmother ended up in Iowa, I think in Des Moines.
Yeah.
Davenport, somewhere up in there.
Yep.
But our people, like we said, our people was just running. We should be tired of running now. Let's deal with this face to face. Take it to the enemy. Win or lose, let's do it. Let's get it done. Run it. Run to Jesus. Run to Allah. Run. We always run. We need to put up our fists and let's do this. I'm gonna say this. Have you ever, brother Taalib, have you ever seen that movie called Cool Hand Luke?
I think so. Who was in that movie?
Paul Newman.
Okay.
It was a bunch of these prisoners, and one of the famous lines, they was on this chain gang, and one of the most famous lines that guy said, "What we have here is a failure to communicate."
I think I might remember that. Yeah.
But there was a scene where Paul Newman was fighting this bigger guy, and the bigger guy just kept beating him. And pretty soon the bigger guy was beating Paul Newman so bad he got tired. He said, "I'm tired of beating you." But Paul Newman kept getting up, trying to fight. He said, "Man, we just lay down and go to sleep." Paul Newman kept getting back up. Until the guy just like, "I can't do it no more. I just can't do it no more." He just kept fighting. He just kept struggling, getting up, and they got us where the bully hit us and we scared to death to keep rising back up. We stronger now than we ever been to face this demon once and for all. We in a better position, better trained, everything now than we ever been in history. This is the time to fight and give a good fight. Win or lose, you have to show these people we ain't no joke. And like Malcolm said, when you get angry, you got to stay angry. We don't stay angry. We'll get angry for a few minutes and then we'll forget about things. It can't be like that. People didn't understand me when I was locked up. You always angry. You're damn right, I don't want to be here. You don't understand that? You got to eat. And you go home every night. You can go to McDonald's. You can go to the movies. I'm locked up in here. I go to my room with these crazy ass people. For 10 years, brother Taalib, I couldn't get a good night's sleep because you got to keep one eye open because you don't know what the crazy folks is out there doing.
I'm surprised they ain't called you sleeperzomia.
Yeah. I had to learn how to take, naps, short naps. Because you don't know what somebody might do to you, while you're trying to sleep. Because those doors aren't locked or nothing. Anybody can come in on you. One of those patients, somebody hit him in the head with a hammer, knocked his eyeball out.
Damn.
Yeah. And then they run around in your room trying to steal whatever little stuff that you got. All kinds of crazy stuff. So for 10 years, I didn't really sleep good. I never really had no real sleep. I had to keep my eye open. I don't trust these crazy ass people. Now while I'm awake, I don't worry about them. But when you sleep, you're vulnerable. Negro might, one of them crazy ass people might say, think about what I did to him earlier in the day. I'm gonna catch this Negro and sleep and bust upside the head with this chair. I got attacked one time. I got attacked with a pool stick one time.
Mm.
And this guy was out of his mind. He started hollering at me. I was on the telephone.
Mm.
And he just walked up to me about, you ain't no damn king.
Mm.
I was like, okay, that's cool. And he passed by again. You ain't no damn king.
Mm.
All right. I'm not no king. Next thing you know, he had a pool stick. You ain't no damn king. And I was talking to one of my relatives on the phone. I said, I gotta go. That dude tried to knock my block off with a pool stick. So we couldn't play pool no more because of what that guy did. You know, them guys get to throwing them pool balls around. You can't keep stuff like that around people like that. They use
and like you said, we in so many positions where they easily could replace us with these other groups of people far as they need niggas, right? Like today, I'm out there in the streets, right? And out and about, right? And so an African walked up to me. He didn't even know me, tried to give me dap. I straight up looked at him. I said, man, I don't know you like that, Yeah. So he didn't take it too much to heart, but one of the African females did. And he said, come on, it ain't that deep. And I'm like, I know it ain't that deep. Just walking up to somebody like that, you don't know. But yeah, but that African female sounded just like the typical so-called American Negro female, ratchet. Was a identical replica of the American Negro, which you heard in the way it came out of her mouth. And see, this is the thing. You got all these Negroes want to go to Africa, but these folks coming over here to try to imitate you.
Exactly.
That's what I don't get. They coming over here to imitate you.
In our foolishness.
Exactly. In our foolishness. Exactly. Man, do you know? Man, listen, I see it every day around here, man. I look at these Africans, I'm like, how could y'all leave y'all country and cultures behind and come to this place here and take on the negative side of us as descendants of slaves? Why would you? Ain't nothing positive in that. That's furthermore destruction. Ain't nothing positive in wanting to be like an American Negro on the negative end of things. You know what I'm saying? You want to be gangsters, rappers, prostitutes. You even got a lot of, and I've been a lot of places in the United States, and I ain't never seen African women out there prostituting themselves in this country. So I came here to Lincoln, Nebraska. I've never seen it. Not even when I was back home in Michigan. I never saw that. And in them places like Detroit, New York, Atlanta, they be trying to stay the hell away from us. But I guess it got to the point now. They all in. They figure they here in America, I guess, and
Well, some of these people come here and though they come here because of these traffickers, and these traffickers get them involved in pornography and prostitution and drug running and all this type of stuff. Or they in some of these factories, they might be making $3 a day. You don't know what these people, they want to come here so bad.
And they say a lot of some of these Africans, because I remember even Saru said it years ago, that a lot of these Africans who come over here don't come over here just because of mere political unrest or religious conflicts or what you saw in Rwanda years ago with that tribal genocide stuff. They come over here because they done stepped on other people's toes.
Yeah.
That's why they get the hell away from over there to come here to get to spare themselves. And whatever families that follow along with them here, because they didn't cross other people amongst their tribes or villages. And so, that's why a lot of them end up over here. And see that the pro-blackity folks don't want to talk about that part too much.
No, they don't. Yeah, because they don't did something or whatever.
Yeah.
What's that? They seeking asylum here because of, like he said, because of some crap that went down in their own land. But anyway, it's all about running. It's all about running.
There you go. Yeah. You running to Africa and they running here.
Exactly. It's all about running. Everybody running.
Right.
Track and field.
Exactly. And there's more of them running here than us going over there.
Exactly.
Like for real, I remember it was a West African Cameroonian female years ago who went to school where I still go at today, right? And we was riding a bus on our way from school going downtown, right? We was riding the bus together, and she said she felt more safer here in Lincoln, Nebraska, than she did in Cameroon. And I never heard nothing like that coming out of Africans' mouth, period. That they actually felt safe being. They felt safe being in a racist ass country like this, imperialistic country like this, than they did their own homeland. I mean, man, that's crazy. But let the Pan Africans tell it. You understand? Or where they suffering because of things that they ain't doing right by God and all that kind of stuff. Man, get that out of here. Nah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's why we keeps it real on this platform, because it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Enough with the BS.
and they're not coming here to be your brother and sister. They're coming here for their own agenda for themselves. They're not coming here. I want to be with the American Negroes over there. They're coming here for their own crap.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
And you talking about going where they just left. Hell, they got the hell out. If it's not here, they're going to Europe. Yep,
exactly. And it's just racist and runted over there, because that's who colonized them.
I don't know why you're going over there, because
they the ones colonized you.
Huh?
They the ones colonized you, and that's the reason why y'all catching hell in the continent. But y'all run into them.
Yeah.
You running back to your colonizers.
The countries they're going to are Europeanized. It's not like they're going there and then they want to mix in with one of the more primitive type people. They going in there, they want to join the people that's Europeanized.
Exactly.
That's what they're used to. They're not going there and want to hunt antelope and shoot monkeys in the ass. They don't want to do that. They're going there where they can drive cars and show off their money and stuff like that. What's his name?
Oh, man.
What's the guy? Because you talk about him all the time. You bring him up. The guy with the channel, I think he used to be a model. He goes over to.
Oh, you talking about Phil the Advisor?
No, he's a late bloomer. I'm talking about the other guy. That's his specialty. He's been doing that for years now. The younger guy that been going over there, and he used to.
Oh, you talking about Search for Uhuru?
Yeah, him.
Yeah, the guy, I forget it, Dynasty. Yeah, they call him Dynasty. Yeah.
You don't never see Dynasty with the more primitive tribes, and they living in mud huts and stuff like. You don't never see him over there mess with them kind of people.
Right.
He's always in the city, eating and drinking something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he ain't with the people, and they got to go out there and they still hunting antelopes and wildebeests and fighting crocodiles. He ain't with them kind of people.
Right.
It's people in Africa that still live in mud huts and live that, you know, they still live that kind of way.
Right.
But you don't see them. You don't see Dynasty and Feel the Advice Show. They don't go mess with them in that type of environment. Matter of fact,
no, they don't.
Matter of fact, you might mess around and get killed because them people don't give a damn about you. They call you the white man.
Exactly. Yeah.
I forgot what the name. What they call this a name?
Kata whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah, some other shit that they be calling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruni. Yeah, I think they call you Bruni. Something like that. Yeah.
They don't like that. You are and they know that you don't belong there. They know you don't belong there. I don't care what you look like or whatever. They know that you wasn't born there. And plus you don't even carry yourself like you a part of it.
And then check this out. Check this out. What's even more blatant about it? Now you know them folks in the Caribbean got more connection to the continent than we do, and they don't even like them. They don't even like the people from the Caribbean. So you know if they definitely don't care nothing about them. Because you remember when Haiti tried to join the African Union because of them being the first black republic over here in the Western Hemisphere after they kicked the French out their country. Well, they was trying to join up with the African Union a few years ago, and the African Union rejected them. Yeah, Haiti was actually trying to become a part of the African Union, and they rejected them. Wow. Yeah. So if they don't care nothing about them folks in the Caribbean, how you think they look at us as American Negroes over here in America?
Yeah, I saw a video.
Yeah.
And these black Americans was at this market, you know, buying food or whatever they was doing.
Yeah. And
you know, they was putting on this show, you know, we Africans, brothers and sisters, and the people in the market was like, no, you white man. No, you white man. They was telling them in their face, you white, and they also charged them more for whatever they was buying than normal.
Yeah.
But they told them in their face, you white man. What do that tell you?
Yeah.
And people like Gay Nollywood, Bakari, you know, the Pan-African, all that, they live in a fantasy world. There are some people, there are some Africans who will get down with that ideology.
Right.
But the leaders and the people, the average people, the people themselves, they're not with that. They don't give a damn about that Pan-African, we all brothers and sisters. Africa is tribal, been tribal for, that's one of the reasons why they got their ass whooped the way they did. Because they're tribal, they couldn't come together. They saw that this European was invading them. They couldn't get together and fight off the invader because they so damn tribal. Even to this day, they can't do it. They can't.
Remember that time you were saying that the Africans leaders over there is calling the colonialists to come back and they actually calling them to come back
because they can't. They're not used to running nothing no more. They don't have no idea. They need
even though you got some African countries like Uganda that just passed the anti-LGBTQ law, and the United States want to put sanction on them, but they don't want to put sanction on them Arab countries that got the same laws. You see, so the thing with that is that it's you know, you got some African countries that's kind of somewhat waking up, but they not waking up because they don't know how to govern themselves. Like one brother I saw on the video was talking about the reason they even talking about now that Ghana's economy, the place where them folks went to and gave up that $2 billion.
Yeah.
Where they said that the exports, certain exports that the Ghanaians got, they saying China finna take that over because they so much in debt to China. So China is about to take that over, and that means that they can't even pay their own government workers because of that. So, I mean, I can't tell that Ghana is a model place as far as what them pro-blacks been promoting on them YouTube videos. That Ghana is supposed to be the model of Africa and all that. I can't tell. China's about to take that completely over. Matter of fact, they basically have taken it over because they got Ghana in a position to where they got to give up some of their economic exports. That means that's why lately it's been big protests and stuff going on in Ghana. You know, so I mean, yeah, man, it's all twisted over there on the continent. And you got these Negroes like them folks that went over there and gave them people $2 billion.
Exactly.
Who you think that $2 billion is gonna go to? The Chinese? I mean, this is what I'm saying, you know?
That's why the Mississippi campaign is the best option that we can do. We need to take care of ourselves. And even the Mississippi campaign, we said from that power base, now you can offer Africa something. Now you can deal with Africa because you got something to offer. You in a position of power. How you gonna help Africa? You can't help yourself.
Exactly.
How can I offer you a drink of water? I can't get water for myself. It makes no sense.
Right.
And plus, on top of that, nobody respects nobody that don't have nothing.
Exactly. And listen, Africa, like I said, they headed into that position because once China take full control of that situation, you might as well say they gonna be just like us in a way. Yeah. They ain't gonna have nothing at all to stand on.
Exactly.
So I mean, you know,
they have a house. They have a house. They have a country. They got resources. But
yeah.
They're not able to control their own resources. They're not able to govern themselves. They're not able. Oh wow.
Truth to be told, hey brother Snuff. Truth be told, in a sense, they in a worse position than we are, because we ain't got no country at all. But they got a country and resources and don't know how to control it. So how that make them look compared to us when they think they better than us anyway?
Exactly.
You got a cold entire country. You can't even control it nor the resources in it because you got constant invaders coming in taking it. You see what I'm saying? So how I'm supposed to respect you?
Right.
I don't give a damn about you not having no respect for me. You not in no better position than me. So why should I respect you? You dig what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
you know, we all, like somebody said, in the same boat at that point.
Exactly.
For real. Yeah, they got it. Man. And you know, and these Pan-Africans can't get it through their head. And that guy, field advisor, he constantly telling people, you need to travel, you need to invest your money in Africa. What? So the foreign invaders could take it? Because that's who you gonna give it to.
That's right.
Why he ain't got his ass over in Africa now? Why he's still living in the suburb in Houston, Texas?
Right.
Yeah, man, get out of here with that, man.
You look like you're getting fatter and fatter too.
Yeah.
Feel that rice show eating damn good, because I know he got that some kind of she's Caucasian, Hispanic, some kind of woman, whatever. I know she got a restaurant or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, it look like he's eating real good. I'm like, damn, look like he getting fatter and fatter every time I see him.
And this Negro ain't even married to an African. He married to a Hispanic.
Yeah, some kind of Hispanic. Caucasian and Hispanic.
Yeah. So shit, you supposed to be pro-African. Why you ain't got married to one of them? If you ain't gonna marry a sister from over here, why you ain't married to one of them?
And
that's the hypocrisy I've been talking about.
Yeah, you know, and Tariq Nasheed married to a biracial lady, and the full-fledged white mama lived with him. And that guy Fred with his Asian woman. All these folks can tell black people what we should and shouldn't do. You know,
exactly.
And all their wealth, all their money is going to other people.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. Oh, look at your boy Farrakhan's son, for example.
Yeah.
Didn't you say one time, if I'm not mistaken, that he had the Caucasian daughter-in-law living in his mansion too?
Yeah, they living in there. And the white mother and father-in-laws, you know, he got all this. And plus, you know, Father Flake is his best friend. You know, and he's been accused of child molestation. You know, it's all messed up with these people. And they following these folks, giving them all their money. All these folks is just messed up.
Exactly.
So it's good. Like I said, it's good. It's good that all these old misfits stay the hell away from me. I'd rather be by myself than in the company of a fool.
I'd rather be alone on this. I'd rather be alone on this planet Earth than be around them type of people.
Exactly. On that note, we did 3 hours, so we're gonna get out of here and probably come back this weekend or when I feel like it, because I can just come on air when I feel like it. I might come on 2 o'clock in the morning. That's going to how I feel. You know,
all right, brother. Peace out. I'm out of here.
All right. We out of here, brothers and sisters. Thank you for listening. Jot down your comments, all that kind of good stuff. And we catch you on the flip. As our ancestor Don Cornelius used to always say as in parting, we wish you love, peace, and soul. We are Artie 5000.
Shake your money maker. Say yeah. Say yeah. I know you got gold. Hey, if you didn't, the music would lose it. So I'm not your enemy.
I want to talk to
I know who the enemy is.
I want to talk.
You wasting your time making mockery of me. Oh, I'm crazy. My brain is damaged. My EnVogue poster. I'm miserable in my life. All this nonsense that you talk about. And you a slave, just like me, in a racist nation.
I believe that if you find a side together.